Hi, my name is Joshua Cajetan Pereira, and this video presents my assignment 2 for COM 8440. This process I model which I've taken is a university scholarship eligibility system. The objective is to evaluate whether a student qualifies for a specific scholarship based on the six key criteria, that is GPA requirement, financial need, extracurricular achievement, disability support, international student restriction, and rejection thresholds. The reason of choosing this model that scholarships are like a very important decision for academic performance and personal context. And the decision of making this model is to reflect how universities weigh across various factors, assuming fairness across all. The test data and business rules which I have taken are based on real world patterns, also which are seen in institutional scholarship patterns. So to evaluate my part two, I'm gonna talk about all my business rules which are evaluated as you can see here. And here also you can see my introduction, process description, and data structures which are involved in this project. Moving on to my next step, that is my workflow. So I'll walk through my JDM implementation of the decision model, which automates the decision process of my university scholarship. Let's start with the left side, that is the request node, where the input JSON is received containing student details such as GPA, financial need, disability, extracurricular score, international status, along with associated scholarship criteria. From here, the data flows into several components, each evaluating a specific business rule. First check is the financial need decision table, which determines if student meets the scholarship financial requirement. If there are three conditions which are handled, both need and required being true, need true and requirement being false is rejected, and when financial need is not required by the scholarship. Second is we have the extracurricular achievement, that is the expression node which is represented. It checks if the student's extracurricular score is greater than or equal to the scholarship required score. If yes, then it outputs as pass, otherwise it rejects. Third, we have the GPA for disability mode. That is like a fairness adjustment rule. If a student has disability, we'll add zero point 0.5 to their GPA to ensure fairness. This adjusted GPA is then used in the next component. The GPA requirement expression node also uses modified GPA and compares it to the scholarship minimum GPA. If GPA meets or exceeds its requirement, it returns pass, otherwise it returns reject. Fifth is the GPA rejection decision table, which is like a hard threshold rule. If the GPA, student GPA, even after adjustment is below 2.5, then automatically it rejects from all the scholarship, regardless of the criteria. It ensures a baseline academic standard. Sixth is like the international student restriction decision table, which handles whether a student can apply based on their international status. If a scholarship is not open to international students and applicant is one, it returns reject. Finally, we reach to the final scholarship decision table that checks all the combined outputs of all the previous rules. And if all are true, then it passes the stage. And if one rule fails, then the output is scholarship not granted, otherwise, it will be scholarship granted. This structure only not improves uh, all transparency and also is good for the decision. Moving on to my test cases. So first test case which I have tested is the Olivia, with name Olivia. So if I run this, as you can see, the extracurricular check is being rejected, and the scholarship is not granted because the extracurricular score is 40, which is less than the required, which is 50. So then it automatically rejects the extracurricular check and scholarship is not being granted. Moving on to my next test case, that is that is for Isaac. If I run this for Isaac, as you can see, Isaac, the GPA check is being rejected because the GPA is 2.4, which is less than 2.5. So scholarship is not being granted. Moving on to my final test case, that is moving on to my final test case, that is As you can see here, the scholarship is being granted because it passes all the test over here, and that's why the scholarship is being granted. What we can see that all the rules have worked as per how it's designed. One insight that I've gained is if one even rule is failed, then the scholarship is being rejected. A possibility of improvement could be flagging which like exact criteria if a student has failed one rather than just returning a binary output. That's like a problem. But for now, the decision table and all my implications have been final and have been shown also accuracy and properly done. Thank you.